What's going on, everyone? Juice Bags here, and welcome back to the channel. The Dungeon Defenders Awaken comes to a close this Sunday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. With that in mind, if you do have any last-minute things you want to see in the DDA beta before it goes into early access on February 21st, this weekend is the time to get it done. So hop on in there and play anything that you missed or you still wanted to check out in the beta. Now, with the beta coming to a close, I promised I would do a what I like and what I don't quite like video, or what I love and what I feel like needs a little love, and this will be the one. Now, with that in mind, there are a few things that I'm just not even going to bother going over in the video, as they're either works in progress or they've actually already been changed from what we have available to us in the beta. So things like the character models, the HUD, the UI, game optimization, these are all things that are going to be works in progress all the way up until when the game launches. So these are not things I will be discussing today. So let's go ahead and throw on our punching gloves and jump right on in. Now, first things first, when it comes to upgrading and repairing, I 100% appreciate the fact that Chromatic added in a toggle where we could go from the over-the-shoulder look or the overhead look, and my guess here is they're wanting to appeal to players of both Dungeon Defenders 1 and Dungeon Defenders 2, and without a doubt, I really appreciate that little fine detail that they added in. However, with that being said, it feels bad both ways. It doesn't feel as good as DD1, it doesn't feel as good as DD2. In particular situations, like with trap and aura stacks, it's just straight up painful to repair or upgrade individual auras in the current system with how it's set up. I personally love both ways, Dungeon Defenders 1 and Dungeon Defenders 2. However, we don't have either one of them. We've got what Chromatic put in as an effort to kind of appeal to both player bases, and what we got was neither. So it doesn't feel like DD1, it doesn't feel like DD2. I personally would like to see some sort of change in this regard, whether it be the priority type system that it has in Dungeon Defenders 1, or just more targetable bases on auras and traps like in DD2. That's something that I personally have strong feelings about. I really think Chromatic needs to get that dialed in. Now, with that being said, one thing I absolutely loved about the game is it's bringing back that special loot feel. The loot in DD1 is something special. This many years later, I'm still going into Dungeon Defenders 1 and trying to farm up better versions of specific items all these years later, and it's because the loot feels good. Whether it be a special weapon or a pet or anything you're looking for, DD1, trendy without a doubt, got the loot right, and I'm hoping, and it feels like, they're going to get the loot right in Dungeon Defenders Awakened. Now, it may not be the exact same system as DD1, it's going to be very different than DD2 without having shards and mods. However, that special loot feel is there in the beta, and in the beta, the example we got of that really is the pet rock. The pet rock in the beta, if you got a good one, it was a game changer for you. In fact, it could have completely made your entire beta playthrough just getting one good rock pet. And as far as the limited amount of the game that we got to see in beta, that was the special loot, and it had that really special feel to it, making that the item that you wanted to farm to go ahead and progress through and experience more and more of the beta. Now, on that same note, targeted farming. We knew exactly where to go to get what. If we wanted this item, we went to this map. If we wanted this item, we went to this map. DD1 does it really, really well. DD2, of course, stuff just drops all over the place. And having a targeted place to go farm is just absolutely wonderful. I'm hoping that some of the special weapons from Dungeon Defenders 1 with like the different challenges, I really hope that stuff makes it in and give us targeted places to go farm. Give us that item. Now, of course, then we're going to want to continue to farm to get a better version of that item. But it shouldn't be such a huge mystery and require so much RNG just to get the specific item that we want. And DDA looks like it's going to bring in targeting farming. Now, of course, we only saw 4 maps. So 4 maps, very limited amount of the game's actual mechanics. We don't know for sure, but it really feels like that targeted farming is indeed coming. Now, in the beta, it was all about the pets. That's where the targeting farming was involving. You did this survival, you got this pet, and that survival, you got that pet. But let me talk about pets for a minute. Now, we only had 1 pet in the beta that was a damaging pet that went out and attacked. And one thing about that pet is, other than farming a new one, there was no way for you to increase that pet's damage. Not one of your single stats affected that pet. And even taking that one step further, the monk's hero boost does not affect the pet damage. Now, this completely eliminates a monk pet build from the game if it stays this way. So if you're a fan of those monk pet builds in DD1, you will not have it in DDA unless they make a change to that monk's hero boost. Now, in addition to that, as I mentioned, the pets aren't scaling. No matter what points you put a stat into, the pet damage never changes. That turns these great pets into DD2 pets. Now, if you've only played DD2, you might be saying, well, Juice, what are you talking about? Pets in DD2 are great. And pets in DD2 are great. They have a great pet ability, but they are a shadow of their former selves in DD1. And since so much of this game is being built to give us that DD1 feel, pets have got to be fixed up. We've got to have a way to scale up our pet damage. Our pet, if it turns into it's a minor stat stick with a specific ability or a specific passive that it gives you, it's basically turning it into DD2 pets. Now, people have been talking about pets in DD2 for a long time, many years, and wanting changes, and we never really got any. This is a chance to really bring that special pet feeling back to the Dungeon Defenders universe in DDA, and it's just not going to happen unless there's a way we can make our pets more effective. Just farming for a better pet that hits harder is not what we want to do. Give us a way to have our stats affect the pet. I don't care what that is. It doesn't have to be straight up the damage as it is in DD1, but give us something. Give us some area to be able to make a pet shine and bring that particular playstyle back into the game. Not everybody wants to be a tank and hack and slash. Not everybody wants to sit back and shoot. Some people want to let their pets do some of the work, and then they can focus on repairing or whatever else they want to do at the time. And pet builds in DD1 are super fun. From what we've seen in the beta, a DD1 pet build is not going to be an option in Dungeon Defenders Awakened. So I'm really hopeful that this gets addressed and pets get changed up. Now, speaking of pets again, of course, we're getting those pets in the beta in survival mode. And survival mode is a thing of beauty. I absolutely love survival mode. I loved it in DD1. I even loved it in DDE, for God's sakes. Survival mode is just good stuff. Now, when it comes to survival mode, though, mana feels like it's off. If you're doing a run or you're running one particular map that's going to take you 2 or even 3 hours to complete, by the end of that map, we need to have all of our defenses fully upgraded. That's just how it is. Everybody wants to feel the power or the potential power of their defenses. Without having enough mana to get that done, that's just not possible. Now, what this has turned into in the beta is the mana hunt. The mana despawns so fast from the enemies that you literally have to circle the map at full speed the entire time to have any hopes of even snagging a small portion of the mana that's dropping. So something else needs to be done with mana, particularly in survival mode. I didn't really feel like I had a problem with it in campaign, but in survival mode, it was a definite issue. Now that brings us along to one more thing with survival, and that is these maps are taking 3 hours. You know, some of them can be done in 2 hours. Several of the maps are taking 3 hours, and especially your first time through. I think my first time actually completing Alchemical Labs, it took longer than 3 hours for the very first run, which is fine for the very first one, but give us a way to skip to wave. Now, I love the DD1 system in survival of picking the wave you want to go to. It allows you to do that target farming. Remember, a lot of these survival runs, you're going to have to run that map 100 times before you get a pet you want. In some cases, you can run it 100 times and not even get the pet you want or the item you want. So if we're going to have to do it this many times, I just don't feel like it should take this long to run these survival maps. Giving us some way to jump forward, even if it's not directly like the DD1 system, but some way to skip through those trivial waves at the very, very beginning would just make this survival mode feel so much better. Now, another thing I'm really excited about is just the fresh start. Chromatic has a fresh start with a new game. There's no layers of bugs that are on top of each other that need to be discovered or dug through and fixed. It's all fresh. Now is the chance for Chromatic to really make or break it in this particular Dungeon Defenders universe, and they could do DDA so right, having Unreal 4 and just a fresh start to get things done the way that engineers want these things done. I think that alone is going to bring a lot of value to DDA in the future, with not just the state of the game and how it runs, but in addition to that, having a fresh build that they created from the ground up in a modern game engine should make these all go very much quicker. So we should get lots more updates in a timely manner versus what we've become accustomed to a little bit in Dungeon Defenders 2. Now, one last thing that I'm just super stoked to see, and I just absolutely love that it's back in the game, and it's so basic, but it's armor sets. Armor sets are awesome. You farm up a matching set, you get a little stat bonus. That is just good stuff, and I absolutely love that armor sets made it in to the beta in Dungeon Defenders Awakened. Now, thank you all so much for watching. I am very much looking forward to the DDA Early Access on February 21st, and that answers the final question, as there's been lots of people asking me, do I think it's worth it? Am I excited about the game? Am I ready to play the game? And there is no doubt about it. I am really looking forward to playing Dungeon Defenders Awakened. Now, whether you're a huge fan of DD1 or you're a huge fan of DD2, one thing that can be said about both games is they're both great games. If you've fully played through DD1 and you've fully played through DD2, then there's no doubt you have an appreciation for that particular game in the Dungeon Defenders universe, and they are both fantastic games. Now, of course, just like every other game out there with multiple additions in a particular game's franchise, everybody's going to have their favorite. So DD1 might be your favorite, DD2 might be your favorite, and you never know, DDA might end up being your favorite. So to me, there's just no doubt in my mind that it's going to be a fantastic game. I'm very much looking forward to jumping into early access as soon as it goes live on February 21st, and hopefully you all will join me there as well. So thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to click that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Let me know down in the comments below what your thoughts are of the beta, if you got to play it or watch it in any way. But that will do it for now, so thanks again, and I will see you next time around. Take it easy.